Well, hello, this is Peter Combs from Bidamount.com and BidamountLive.com and P.O. Combs Asian Art in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And today is Friday, June 4th, 2021, and this is our weekly video we do every Friday. Take a look and see how things are going around the world on the Asian art and auction market, and for things from China and Japan and Thailand and wherever, Korea, whatever comes up, we're interested in sharing it with you. And a couple of things have been going on this week. One of them is we just did a video today, another video, it'll be on the newsletter page, and linked over here, of course, on YouTube, is the Cavern sale part 2. And we did an overview of the sale and shared some of the things to give you an idea of what's in it. Good looking sale, just like the first one. And again, all unreserved, happening on June 7th in London. Check it out. It's worth looking into. You still have time to chase it around. A number of people I know have, I've heard from some people who have already been making some inquiries on some of the lots over there. There are a lot of little figural pieces, some very nice things, really, really nice things. And, oh, the hand. A number of you wrote about my hand. They took the stitches out yesterday, about 30 of them. And it's fairly a mess, and it's going to be about 8 weeks of physical therapy before I can use my fingers again on that hand. Apparently, I really did a number on them. So, at any rate, I'm doing the best I can with it, but it'll be better. I guess I'm going to be in therapy until mid-August on it. So, we'll see how that goes. At any rate, we move on. A couple of things happened here. We also added onto the newsletter, onto the book section, on the reference section on Bidamount.com. That's this down here. I mentioned it in the other video. We've added a separate box for there's so much traffic, so many people use the books and references now. We've given them their own box. So if you go to the home page and scroll down to the red box, click it open, it'll take you over here. And this week we've added, of course, we put the Cavern sale catalog up, which is right here. And you can browse that to your heart's content, even after Bonhams takes it down. And we added this, and I don't remember if I mentioned it last week, but the Ming China Quartz and Contacts. This is a great little, a great book, 300 and something pages, that was written by Craig Clunas and Jessica Harrison Hall, who wrote the famous Ming book, and Look Yu Ping, who is the scholar at the British Museum for Chinese paintings. She's brilliant, and it is a very good book. If you want something to read over the weekend, it's very interesting, and it was done to coincide with the famous Ming exhibit years ago, and it is a great little reference book, and there's a lot of history in it. It's absolutely fascinating, and I wanted to mention that. The other thing I wanted to mention was, where is it? Oh, here. Gerald Davidson, who wrote this book a few years ago. Many of you have it. He's done an updated version. I bought the original version, which was a lot smaller back in the 90s. I bought it and found it to be an invaluable tool. And Gerald got a hold of me a couple weeks ago and wanted me to take a look at this, and I'm going to be doing a video on the new updated version. He's added a lot of material to it compared to the first edition, obviously, and he inscribed it to me, which was very nice. And lots of illustrations, more indexes in the back, full of information on understanding and reading, of course, rain marks, something that is always difficult. This is by far the best book on the subject out there that I'm aware of, and you can keep it, you get a couple of copies, keep them in your car, and take them around with you. And we're going to do a video on that book next week, because if you don't have it, you should. If you buy Chinese porcelain and art and you're interested in it, you have to have this book. Okay, it's one of those things you just have to get. And I'm going to go through it and why you should next week, and we'll tell you where you can get it during that process, because it's just been revised. And if you've seen what the used copies are selling for, they're selling for $500 to $1,000. Of the original copy of that book now. They've gone up incredibly in price because people want that book. He's re-released it, and it's going to be very reasonably priced. I forget what it's going to be, but it's not $500 or $1,000. All right, now, excuse the noise. They're doing some street work outside. There's always something going on here in Gloucester. All right, now, what else is going on here? Let's see here. Oh, There we go. The global auction pages this week got updated. We updated them repeatedly. We didn't bother noting how many times we updated because we lost track, because so many things came and went during the course of the week. Very, very busy. And some of the things that are going on, if you check the live auctioneers or the invaluable pages, you're going to find them pretty loaded. This is just what's on the live auctioneers page. It's endless how much stuff has been added. There's several sections of, also, if you're into rugs and textiles, there's several good Chinese auctions on there of Chinese rugs and Central Asian rugs and that sort of thing. If you're into those, the Turkoman pieces and saddles, throne seat covers. There's a very lovely Osmo look that we're going to look at in a minute from Central Asia. And all kinds of good porcelain turned up this week. Also, some really interesting, there's a very nice Chinese export tea caddy box that turned up. This is a nice old one, 1800 to 1820. It's being sold by Quinn's in Falls Church, Virginia. If you're a Chinese lacquer buyer, especially China trade, you want to check that out. And let's see what else is going on here. Christie's, the pavilion sale. As many of you know, the Christie's has run the pavilion sale every spring over in China and Hong Kong. It's sort of a regular event, and they put together sort of things that are in all price points. It's not the most expensive things they sell. Some of the things are quite buyable. This year they're doing it strictly online, and it's running from May 27th through June 11th. And if you use the global pages, we've brought the wholesale in there. It's all on there. You can go through it and scroll through it pretty quickly. Some nice things, as always, of course, some good cloisonne, lots of bronzes, jades, a big selection of jades. And porcelain, of course, and early pieces, Sung pieces, Junyao, you name it. It's all on there. So come over and check that out. And what else is on here? There's a couple of other things coming up. This is something that popped up this week. This is a very nice piece of Peking overlay snowflake glass. A very nice form. Could be late 18th or early 19th century. It doesn't have a mark on it. Sometimes they have Qinlong marks on them. This one does not have a mark on it. Some good detail shots of it. The polish looks nice. It looks nicely finished. The glass looks very good. And if you're a Peking glass buyer, you want to check it out. This is Adams Auctioneers in Dublin, Ireland is having this sale. They have a small Asian sale coming up. I can't recommend everything in the sale because there's some things I'm not so sure about, but this is a nice looking thing. It's got an estimate of or an opening bid of about 1,000 euros, which is perfectly reasonable. This bottle should bring $3,000 or $4,000. All right, and then over to this. This is a very nice piece of Celadon with white slip decoration that's coming up. It's 23 inches tall, I believe, or 23 inches. To John in Paris is having this on June 7th. It's the same day as the Cavern sale, so don't get it mixed up. But if you want to buy a beautiful piece of Celadon with fine white slip, this is a good one. Beautifully done. Very, very lovely work. Wonderful color. The green on this is absolutely great, and this thing is about 24 inches tall, but a very attractive vase. The chimeras are particularly well modeled if you take the time to look at it. Each little claw, everything. Fine example with pairings of foo lions on the neck with unglazed tails. Just a terrific looking thing. Very reasonable. Opening bid of 750 euros. It should bring several, two to 4,000. And that's a nice vase if you collect monochromes with relief decoration on it. And also this is a very unusual Chinese export Rococo salt, open salt that I came across, and it's got an opening bid of nothing, 100 euros on it, and this is also at Tijan in Paris. So if you collect salts or very unusual export items, this is one of them, and it's a Kangxi period example. It's not Qinlong, which 90% of them are. All right, so check that out with Tijan in Paris. And then you have the Kangxi Gu vase, beautifully done, nice crisp drawing, beautiful alignment of flowers up and down the body, and then of course the leaf vines going around the neck horizontally. A very attractive example. The opening bid is 2,000 euros. It should go well beyond that. And this is Marquis de Santos in Portugal, in Porto. All right, they have nice auctions over there. If you've never done business with them, get a hold of them. Shipping from Europe's a little expensive because I've heard people, it's shipping. Yeah, well, shipping from Europe's expensive, period. Shipping to Europe is expensive. Always figure that in. All right, always figure it in. Shipping internationally these days is expensive. The post office has gone up on their rates. And everything else, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. The box that used to cost $60, $70 to ship to China now costs 110. It's the way it is. All right. But at any rate, this is a good-looking vase and reasonably estimated. All right, and that is on the global pages under Live Auction News. This is that Asmalik I was telling you about. A beautiful Yomut tribe pentagonal saddlebag face. Beautifully done, nice lattice, unusual border decoration, looks to be in beautiful condition, and this is being done. There's a couple of sales out. Okay, this is the Austria Auction Company over in Vienna, and they do regular sales of carpets. They get some very nice things. They had a sale that we covered a while ago. They specialize in textiles, obviously, and if you like Chinese and Central Asian and Southeast Asian textiles, we'll try to keep these on here for you on the global pages because a lot of people I know collect them. They also have a very good selection this time around, I noticed, of fragments. A lot of people collect fragments these days from pieces from big rugs that are very old. They save them, and they're little bits of art on their own. And there's several good fragment lots coming up in this sale. And there's another sale at Material Culture here in the U.S., and they've got some nice things as well. Okay, and then this is Tremont Auctions here in Massachusetts. Jimmy Callahan and Brett Downer run this. I've known both of them for many, many years. Nice guys. They know a lot. I've mentioned before, Jimmy, actually, you've seen him on Roadshow. He's the wire spectacled glass guy that used to be with Skinner's, and he left Skinner's years ago. And he may still do Roadshow, I'm not sure. But he's a very nice guy. Anyway, he lives up the street from me. I don't see him as often as you'd think. But anyway, this is a nice-looking Pronk pattern dish. You all know about Cornelius Pronk and his history of designing for the export market for a year or two, and very rare things. This one has a bid. It's estimated it should bring $1,000 to $1,500. We'll see. It's a nice looking plate. Sometimes this could bring more. I haven't looked up what this particular pattern has brought in the past, but I love the little fish borders going around the outside. Fish and koi fish and so forth. See, there they are. Nicely done. And then down Heritage Auction Galleries down in Texas has this. If you're looking for a set, if you're looking to dine elegantly, you want to look into this. This is a 42-piece Chinese export dinner service. 42 pieces. All right. Very nice. Big pieces. Beautifully done photograph. If you're a dealer, buy the lot and break it up and sell it. All right. And the opening bid, apparently it's only got 2 bids so far. It's got 17 days to go before the auction begins, and check it out. They look like there's some nice pieces there, some nice big platters, good famille rose decoration. And then over here to this, I just came across this today. I thought this was a charming little Ruyi head teapot with a profusion of scrolls and peonies on it, with an upside down Ruyi head on the side. Just a lovely little elegant classical 18th century pot. The shape is good. I don't see any repairs on it. It's got an opening bid of starting at $50. And this is Oak Ridge Auction Gallery in Ashburn, Virginia. They have a sale coming up. Some of the things they have are pretty good, and some of the things I'm not so sure about. We included on the global member pages the things that we liked from the sale. Some things we did not include, and I think they're off on their dating in a few areas. But at any rate, this is a very nice pot. And if you collect teapots, you want to look at this because it's sort of a rare pattern, if you know what I mean. All right, now heading back over, what happened on eBay this past week? I still think it's a little quiet over there. I don't know why. Things that have been on there have done okay, but it seems a little bit quiet. And there was this very nice set of first half of the 19th century famille rose with overglazed blue border, decorated a couple of platters, a small platter and a square tray. Nice looking lot though. The biggest platter, this one had a line in the body, I noticed. But other than that, it's a good looking set, very decorative. They hang well, and it brought $655, which I think was a good buy. I think that was, even with the cracked big platter, because I figured the other platter is probably worth about $300 or $400, and then you have the small platter, which is the small oval platter, which is sort of a rare size. probably worth another 200 or 300, and then the square plate another 200 or 300, and you got the big piece with the crack on top of it. So I think somebody got a good buy. This was some Pud out in Ohio, 77 Pud. He's a regular eBay seller. He knows what he's doing, and nice looking thing. And then on to this. This was a wonderful Kangxi dish with dragon enamel, not underglazed, but overglazed enamel, and then colored enamels around the center with the blossom and the flowers in the middle. But I love the color combination. I love the contrast in the cavetto between this lightish blue of the dragons chasing the pearl, and then framing it with this nice strong orangey red with gold. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful color combination. And somebody paid $462 for that, which I don't think is bad. I think it's a very pretty dish. You always pay for the art. It's always about the art, how good it is. You can buy, a Kangxi dish that isn't worth anything. So it's worth an $80 dish because it's boring. This is not a boring plate. That's a nice looking plate. And then over this Noyon Straits hot food pot with a phoenix on it. Cute little food on the top. And this obviously made for the Straits community in Asia. And this did very well. It sold for $5,292. The Noyon Straits material has maintained a very strong active interest all since about 2008. Well, there were always people that collected it, but starting around 2005, 6, 7, 8, the value of this stuff really began to ramp up. And it used to sell in the West for nothing. Because people didn't understand the color scheme and why it was colored that way, and who it was intended for initially. So I think it was just underappreciated. But at any rate, it sold for $5,292. Very, very good thing. This was Arthur Potts had that. And then the late Qing, early 20th century dragon moon flask. Again, the double dragons fighting over the pearl. There are the dragons. Here's the pearl. And a nice looking one, very standard one, but always popular because these look great on mantles. They look good on bookcases, and they're very visual. You can see them. And this one did pretty well. It brought $849 in good condition from a seller in Dorchester, England. Rufays had that. We feature their things regularly. They sell a lot on eBay, and we tend to put them in the newsletter page. And then another Famille Rose with turquoise ground moon flask, again, from about the same period, beautifully decorated, nice one. And this one did very well. This one even brought more than the last one. It brought $910. But moon flasks are always popular. Pairs of moon flasks are even more popular. I think the most desirable one you can get is probably the big 22-inch Famille Jaune ones that they made for a while. Those go through the roof when they turn up because of the yellow and the Famille Rose enamels mixed in. They look very attractive. And then over here to this very nice little Chinese card case with a slip-off top, and it's got the heraldic, the shield on the front that was never filled in. Nobody ever put their monogram on it. So if you want to kick it old school, you can get that and put your monogram on it and keep your business cards in it if you still use them. It went reasonably, $453, which I think is fine. And this was from a dealer in Shropshire in the UK. J. Baker Jewelry. I don't know, if you live in England, do you know who that is? Nice looking little box, and it went reasonably. Chinese silver has remained popular. And then this very nice, they call this Xixing pottery. I don't know if it's Xixing pottery. To me, it looks more like some sort of Shuan type with very little glaze. These are wonderful. I've always liked these animal forms. Unfortunately, these had some damage to the back legs over here. This leg is actually missing, the right leg on this one, the bottom half, and this one I think had been repaired. But the facial expressions on these two is just adorable. They're almost worth buying just for the faces on them. They have that absolutely great sort of startled but happy look. And I just love these. And so I think I got them very reasonably. $149 for something nice and fun, even with a little bit of damage. You can live with it because the faces are great. The faces are good on them. And they are, how big are these? They're 9 centimeters, 3 centimeters. I think they're a bit bigger than that. They say they're 3 or 4 inches tall. Regardless, I love the faces on them. I love the faces. And then over here to this, the pair of Kangxi rose water bottles with underglazed blue upper sections and then a crackled glaze mid section and cafe lower section. They did these as sort of unusual. Most of them are made for export into the Middle Eastern and Indian markets, but very nice to get a pair. Always desirable. And the pair of them did pretty well. They're about $1,439, even though one of them had a nick out of the top here at the very top. You'll notice right there's a chip out of the top of these. These are often nicked, which is interesting, and often they're refitted and you'll find them with silver and things added onto them. And it's because they jammed something in there to plug the hole, or they banged it around a little, it got nicked, and they'll just put a silver top on. I saw one where they actually put lead on it. I don't know if I'd want to drink out of it, but at any rate. They're very pretty, and they look nice paired on a mantle. And they typically, I don't know how tall these were. Most typically they're around 8 or 9 inches tall. Guy probably didn't bother putting in the dimensions unless he put in a ruler. There it is. How big were these? 9 inches tall. There you go. Yeah, they were about 9 inches tall. That's about the right height for them. And moseying along over here to this was there's a seller in Malaysia that we know about who gets very good in the Straits porcelains. He's quite an expert on it, and he put up a number of them as buy it nows. I think he's having some hassles with bidders not paying their bills, so he decided to do buy it nows. And he put this up. We featured them. We're going to feature the ones that are still left in the newsletter page this week. He had this one up, and he accepted an offer for it. I don't know what it sold for. I suspected maybe $750 or something like that. Nice looking plate, nice Famille Rose enamels, and I'm glad he sold it. It was a good looking thing. All right, and then over here on Catawiki, what's been going on this week? There was this. This was a very nice late 17th, early 18th century Japanese Arita dish. Nicely done. Beautiful, soft cobalt blue. I like the border decoration, the brown dressing on it, and so forth all the way around. It looks like a good little dish. 3 spur marks, and of course one of the seals on the bottom. And it ended up selling for 550 euros, which was a pretty good price for that. And this wasn't a charger. And this again looks at 8-inch dish. This again looks back at this bit of more activity in Japanese porcelains in some areas, and this is sort of proof of it, because I remember plates like this just a few years ago selling for 300 or 400 or 200 or 300 even. So maybe there's a bit of a little change coming. We hope, for the Japanese collector market. And then on to this, the 3 Kangxi wine cups. Beautifully done with lotuses and peonies and so forth, with insects. Nice little group. And the lot went for 712 euros. Perfectly reasonable. That's a very upper end looking set of cups. Nice decoration. I like the lotus flowers on the bottoms. The tone of the cobalt was nice and dark on them. Loosely painted, comfortably painted. And 712 euros for the lot. And then this, I think there was Hengxing water pitcher or creamer with bamboo decoration all over it and a conforming bamboo trimmed rim around the top. I like that. I like that treatment, using bamboo to form the upper rim, and then of course a bamboo handle. And this was Wang Hing, right? Wang Hing, sold for $493, and for Wang Hing silver, I think that was a pretty good buy. I think that's a pretty good buy. Wang Hing, as many of you know, is one of the most well-known and one of the most collected Chinese silversmiths there's been. And he was quite prolific, but his stuff was always good. And I think somebody got $493 for that. I think it was pretty reasonable. And then over here, this was again 77 Pud had this up. It was probably a 19th century Cantonese enamel teapot. It was missing its lid, unfortunately, but it was nicely decorated, and I really loved the handle, this sort of stirrup handle, and then the upper section wrapped in bamboo. I thought that was very effective visually, and had 26 bids and went for $390. And this is, again, 77 Pud out in Ohio had it. And then what's going on? This is coming up. A good-looking little transitional period vase. At first, I wasn't sure about it because, as you know, they're making fakes of these nowadays. But I flipped it over and got a look at the bottom of it, and that looks fine. It's all hand cut. You can see all this nice hand cut, and you get a better sense of the cobalt now at this angle to see that it was washed in nicely and done in the right manner. And it's up to $155, 5 days to go, and I think it's going to do, probably in the $1,800 to $2,500 range by the time it's all done. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, that was no good. That's an extra page. And that's that. And the last thing I wanted to mention was over in Bidamount Live this week, somebody put one of these on. This is sort of interesting. This is one of these relief work. They did this form in Chinese export porcelain fairly regularly, and they were always done in garniture sets, and most of them are smooth bodied. This is one of these relief worked examples, which is quite unusual. They're very, very pretty. The vines and all this stuff are all raised off the body of the piece. So you can see it very nicely here and all this. And I looked at the enamels and the flowers, and all of them look to be in quite good shape. I'm sure one or two of them has a little nick in it, but this is a fairly rare bird. And it looks to be in good condition overall. And the guy's asking $8.99 for it. If you like it, make an offer, communicate with them. I like that. That was a nice thing. That's on the BidamountLive.com site. All right. And that's about it for the week. There's a lot going on. As I said, we just did the auction for the second part of the Cavern moving on sale, and I hope you check that out. And this is it for this week. And I'll be doing my therapy on my fingers all as well, and I'm still trying to get some gardening in. I'm learning how to garden with one hand, which is a challenge. I can't mow the lawn now, so I have to get somebody to mow the lawn. And hopefully we'll be going to the beach this weekend. It's supposed to be 90 here on Sunday, thank God. And because we got 3 inches of rain over Memorial Day weekend, and now all this week the supermarkets are selling sirloin tips at half price, which is fine with me. All right. All right, that's it. There's nothing to do with any of this. This is just for fun. All right, have a great weekend. I'll be back next week. Get out there, enjoy part of the summer, do some shopping, and talk to you again soon. And we'll do that. We're going to do that video on the Gerald Davison book on rain marks. Sure, you should check it out. If you're a collector, check it out. This is a book you have to have. It really is. All right, it'll save you a lot of time, It'll save you money. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.